Welcome to Binge-Worthy Network. Child stars, the world and media fall in love with them. However, because of the limelight, sometimes they don't transition to adulthood properly. Some are able to ruin their careers, while others are able to rebound. Let's take a look at 5 stars who had a turbulent meltdown during their career. At number 5, we have Drew Barrymore. Born in 1975, Drew Barrymore landed a major role at the age of 6 in Steven Spielberg's blockbuster E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Her career exploded in the 90s as she starred in Poison Ivy, Gun Crazy, Bad Girls, and Boys on the Side. At the age of 9, her mother started taking Drew to nightclubs during the absence of her alcoholic father. It was in these years that a young Drew Barrymore became familiar with the effects of drugs and alcohol. At just 13, she violently attacked her mother in an attempt to throw her out of the house. As a result, Drew was placed in rehab. This was a turbulent meltdown that most people did not see coming because Drew on screen has a good girl kind of mentality. But this really became apparent that there was something going on inside as Drew took another wrong turn at the age of 19 by posing naked for the infamous magazine Playboy. Following the issue's release, she received a quilt and a note from Steven Spielberg for her 20th birthday telling her to cover up. The note was accomplished by a Photoshop image from the magazine, which had been edited to have clothes on them. This triggered her journey to cleaning up her act for good. She now has a balanced life and an extremely successful. Drew discusses her dark history in her autobiography, Little Girl Lost. And number 4, we have Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin is one of the most renowned U.S. childhood stars on the planet. He was born in 1980 in New York City and came in contact with showbiz at the age of 4 by appearing in a number of off-Broadway shows. At the age of 8, he appeared in a film, Rocket Gibraltar and See in the Morning. In 1990, he starred in the greatest film, Home Alone, directed by Christopher Columbus. Home Alone became one of the highest grossing movies of all time, which quickly resulted in a sequel. At the age of 14, Culkin starred in a number of low-rated films. The public became skeptical as to whether or not the child star, who was the highest paid star on his age bracket, had already peaked. This led to questionable behavior by Culkin, which further tarnished his once perfect reputation. The lead up to his role in the sequel of Home Alone resulted in allegations that his father, Kit Culkin, was mismanaging his funds. This was later confirmed as his parents entered into a custody battle during which it seemed they were more interested in their son's fortune than in their son. In 2004, Culkin was arrested for possessing 17.3 grams of marijuana along with a stash of other controlled substances. Culkin was demonized by the press for his drug use, despite many other child stars who had been spiraling much further down than he did. At number 3, we have Brian Bonsall. Brian Bonsall was born in 1981 in California and grew up acting in Hollywood from a very young age. From 3 to 14 years old, he played roles in a variety of shows and movies, including Family Ties, Star Trek: The Next Generation, and the Disney film Blank Check, which also featured Macaulay Culkin. In 1995, Bonsall took a break from acting and attended high school in Colorado. There, his passion for punk music developed. He began performing in punk bands including The Late Bloomers and Thruster. Unfortunately, his life took a turn for the worse as he was arrested for driving under the influence. In 2007, he was arrested for assaulting his girlfriend and pleading guilty to a third-degree assault. The result ended in him having 2 years of probation. Between 2007 and 2010, he was arrested on a number of different drug charges, minor assault charges that were highly publicized due to his stardom. In 2009, he beat a friend over the head with a broken wooden stool while under the influence and was given another 2 years probation after being charged with felony menacing and third-degree assault. Now living in Boulder, Colorado, he is pursuing a career in music by playing rhythm guitar in Low Job, a local punk rock band. He is also a part of acoustic duo Bootjack and Bynes. At number 2, we have Amanda Bynes. Amanda appeared in her first commercial at the age of 7 before moving on to stage productions, including Annie, The Secret Garden, and The Sound of Music. Following this, she landed a role in Nickelodeon's TV series All That, while simultaneously hosting her own program, The Amanda Show. From there, her success kept growing. She soon starred in a number of roles, including parts as Holly on the WB sitcom What I Like About You. Unfortunately, she could not handle her own success, and as she even stated, she began smoking marijuana at the age of 18. Then she started experimenting with other heavy drugs such as ecstasy, Adderall, and cocaine. As she quoted, "I never got high from cocaine. I never liked it," Bynes said. But as she tried other drugs such as Adderall and other studied pills, she recalled thinking that she had the world on her hands. And because of that, she had a lot of psychotic episodes, which eventually caused her to downward spiral. Her decision to quit acting came after watching herself in the movie Easy A. At that point in time, she remembers saying, "I literally can't stand my appearance in this movie and didn't like my performance at all. I was absolutely convinced I needed to stop acting after seeing it." That's when she revealed she was high on marijuana when she saw the film, and as well, she regretfully tweeted her official retirement afterwards. Shortly after her retirement in 2012, Bynes was involved in a car accident with a police vehicle. She was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. She was then involved in 2 more hit-and-run car accidents and got caught driving with a suspended license after her car was impounded. And number 1, we have Lindsay Lohan. Born in New York City in 1986, Lindsay was first recognized by the public for her starring role as the twins in the Disney's remake, The Parent Trap. She then rose higher to fame during her role in 2003, Freaky Friday, and 2004, Mean Girls. However, stardom did not do any favors for Lohan. As her fame grew, she began appearing in New York City nightclubs, and her life quickly dissolved into a stream of negative publicities in tabloids. In 2007, Lohan was arrested for crashing her Mercedes-Benz into a tree. 2 months later, she was arrested again for being involved in a car chase, during which she was also found to be in possession of cocaine. The result of these 2 cases of driving under the influence and 1 count of reckless driving received her a minimum sentence of 4 days in jail, although only 1 had to be served. Wow, it must be nice to be a celebrity. Later in 2007, Lohan cracked into rehab as required by her standing sentence. When she was released, Lohan said that she wanted to stay sober and out of Los Angeles. After managing to stay clear of the press for a few years, she reappeared after being sentenced to 90 days in jail for missing a DWI hearing. In 2011, she was charged with the theft of a necklace from a jewelry store. Well, that's it for this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates on upcoming videos. Take care.